Welcome to Creativism, the show for creatives, filmmakers, Christians, and productivity nerds. I'm your host, Josh the Creative. In this episode, I want to address some of the things that I have been doing before going to bed. If you listen to the podcast episode, I don't remember what number it is. I actually may be able to see. So I had a previous episode that talked about what I don't do before going to bed. And if I didn't have it on a podcast, I know I made a YouTube video about some of that stuff. So pretty much what I've been doing lately is on the off days that I have from my work. I wasn't doing what I had to do as far as setting a limit or like a time frame aside before going to bed. Like at the end of the night, I will still be doing some work, doing some planning, plotting and scheming for projects. I'd be consuming like stimulating content, listen to a podcast or watching a YouTube video, and not just something that's just to pass the time, but like actively trying to learn from something that was like stimulating my brain. And I was doing all of this way too close to my time to be going to bed. And it kept my mind active and running. It honestly didn't matter where it ran as long as it was moving. So I would find myself 30 minutes to an hour after going to bed, still up, mind running everywhere, thinking about whatever there is to think about. And I just couldn't sleep. Now on those nights where I was getting off of work and I didn't have the time to get any stimulation between driving home and coming back and actually getting ready for bed, I had no problem going to bed. The only thing I would do after getting off work is talking with my wife, just talking about the day, getting things off my chest, and if anything, I had a release of the day versus a buildup of thoughts and consumption. So this experience kind of served as a prime example of why it's important that I don't do certain things before going to bed. I mentioned before how I like to set like an hour before going to bed to just stop doing everything. Like if I have stuff going on, I'm going to shut down at whatever time an hour beforehand so that I can begin to wind down. And if I didn't give myself that time frame, then like I just mentioned, I'd be going to bed still wound up. I wouldn't allow my brain to go to transition from activity to inactivity so that we can wind down and get ready for bed and actually go to sleep. But I would be way too active. And that's what was hurting my ability to actually go to sleep. And sometimes I have to read a book before going to bed, which would be like my sort of passing as far as winding down and actually feeling sleepy. Sometimes I'll listen to music, some like peaceful music that I can use to like focus on breathing for about 5 minutes. And these were things that I've had to do recently to help me go to sleep, but they're honestly good ways to help go to sleep just in general. So I don't really know how to sort of close this topic. This was a very brief thing, just kind of getting out an example of a rule and guideline that I set for myself and didn't apply, and seeing what happens when I don't apply it. So that in itself shows why we should have these certain rules and guidelines for us. Like they actually have a purpose. We're not just doing things just for the sake of doing them. They have a particular reason. And I let those things lapse in my day-to-day routine. So I hope this inspires you to consider some rules or guidelines that you set for yourself, and kind of go back to the root of why you set it to begin with, so that you can continue to keep up with those routines and not get lazy, or not like fall back or take steps back on those routines or habits. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share this with your friends and be on the lookout for the next episode. They come out every Wednesday morning. You can follow me on Instagram at _Josh the Creative, and you can find my music on SoundCloud under Lewis Effect. I'll catch y'all next week. Deuces.